Can you have a healthy marriage on the other side of an affair? The short answer to that is yes, absolutely. But there's a little bit of a longer answer to that because some things have to take place in order for there to be a healthy marriage on the other side. So stay tuned. Let's talk about it. I think you would agree with me when I say marriage is work. Yeah? I think for me, when I found out about my husband's affair and we started going to marriage counseling, I began looking back at all of the things in our marriage that I really wish I would have done differently, or the skills and the understanding I wish I would have had before the affair, because I think if he and I had better communication, if he and I understood each other better, if he and I gave each other more boundary respect, for instance, I think we may have been able to avoid things. Of course, you can't change the past, but what I realized was if we can learn from those mistakes, gosh, we could have a great relationship on the other side of this, and we do. I see this question so much in my Facebook group. People begging, hey, if you're 5+ years out from D-Day, please give me some hope. I mean, can my marriage really survive this? Can we really have a good marriage on the other side of this? I try really hard when I see those posts to respond and go, yes, you can. Now, of course, it depends on things. Let's be honest. Of the marriages that endure affair recovery, there are a percentage of those marriages that will not survive for one reason or another, okay? There is no thing out there that says you have to stay in your marriage if your husband has or your wife has an affair. There's nothing that says you have to stay, and there's nothing that says you have to leave. We make choices along the way. We have hope. We want certain outcomes, but it doesn't always pan out that way. But here are some things, in my opinion, that need to happen for a healthy marriage to flourish on the other side of an affair. First of all, both husband, wife, both parties have to be working toward a healthy marriage, okay? If you've seen any of the videos I've done on forgiveness and managing emotions and stuff like that, a healthy marriage is not going to blossom out of a situation where you have a husband functioning in shame spirals and a wife constantly keeping him in shame spirals because she's constantly throwing the affair in his face. A healthy marriage doesn't blossom out of that. Now, can that happen for a short period of time because, hey, we're human? Yeah, I think so. But long term, I don't think what's going to come of that is going to be a healthy relationship. For a healthy relationship to take place, both people have to say, I want a healthy marriage on the other side of this. Therefore, I am willing to do the work and put in the effort to have said healthy marriage on the other side of this. Okay? That's got to be step one. I'm going to pause right here because I want to give, I'm going to say probably the elephant in the room. I had this situation too. In some of our cases, those of us who are the betrayed spouse, our spouse who had the affair is not 100% sure they're going to stay. They might still feel like they might want the affair partner. So they're kind of functioning with one foot in the door and one foot out the door. That's not going to help either, okay? Can you get to a place where both people have both feet firmly planted in the relationship? Yes. Even if there's a period of time where the spouse who had the affairs got one foot out the door, or the betrayed spouse even maybe has one foot out the door, you can get to that place. But until that happens, healthy marriage is not going to grow. Healthy marriages grow. out of two people who make a commitment that they both want and will work towards having a healthy marriage, they are fully in, 100% in, okay? This could take some time to get to, by the way. If you know anything about my story, 6 years, same affair partner, 2 separations, 2 reconciliations. Really, my husband, I think, wasn't fully 2 feet in the door, fully guaranteed, fully planted in until after that second reconciliation. I think there was always a part of him that kind of had a toe out the door, even after that first reconciliation. So we got there, and some of you watching right now would be thinking, oh, I wouldn't stick around that long. And that's your story, and that's fine. We're all different. But the question here is, can a marriage be happy and healthy on the other side? And what does that look like? Okay. The answer is yes. But a big part of that is, are both parties devoted to this? Are both parties committed to having a healthy marriage? And are they willing to do the work to make that happen? I believe another aspect of having a healthy marriage on the other side is being really good, both parties having healthy boundaries that they enforce. Look, our husband deserves his boundaries as well. He deserves his boundaries to be honored, and we deserve our boundaries to be honored. The more we have these boundaries, and the more we begin respecting one another's boundaries, the better able we are to have a healthy relationship. Boundaries are healthy. You actually are happier with other people when you do have these healthy boundaries in place. Another aspect of having a healthy relationship on the other side is how we communicate with one another. One thing I hope all of us learn through this is the importance of transparency. This means we are honest about our feelings. This means that we are honest about our actions. It means that we don't keep secrets from each other, those types of things. So transparency is important. It's important that we are open as we can be. And that's going to go a long way to helping those of us who've been betrayed to continue to feel safe years down the road. I've mentioned this before. My husband and I are fully transparent and open with one another. So this is something to make sure that you keep doing, is being transparent. Okay. Another thing that I believe helps cultivate a healthy relationship on the other side of this is that those of us who've been betrayed, and even the spouse that had the affair, we need to watch expectations. I'm not opposed to expectations. Of course, we all have expectations of our spouse and of what the relationship will look like. But having expectations of another person that are unrealistic is going to damage the relationship. For instance, when we first find out about the affair and our husband is smothering us to death with love and all this stuff to try to mend and to heal and all this kind of stuff, that is not sustainable. A level of that is sustainable, but this high level is not sustainable. Meaning that to expect him to constantly be that schmoozy guy until you're 95 years old and you're on your deathbed is going to be really challenging, or could be potentially challenging for him. We need to be realistic in expectations, okay? We need to expect transparency and communication. We need to expect boundaries to be respected. There's some things we can expect, and be clear about it. Again, be transparent with what you expect, but be a team, okay? So this is feeding into my final point here. Watch your expectations, but communicate them, because here's the thing. Having a healthy marriage on the other side of this is a team effort. You do it together, okay? One person cannot create a healthy marriage on the other side of an affair. It takes 2 people. So you do it as a team, okay? You tackle problems as a team, okay? If you guys are having constant arguments about how late he's at work, well, the problem isn't our husband in that case. The problem is that we got to figure out a better schedule, or we got to, if he has to work late every day, well, we need to carve out another time during the week for family time. What does that look like? Be a team. Work as a team. You know, good marriages on the other side of an affair don't just happen. It takes work, but it can be so rewarding Hear me when I say it can be so rewarding. You will not regret the work you put into it. Okay? It can be so wonderful. I am living proof of that. I'm recording this, a few, other video I posted. I'm at my dad's house because my mother has Alzheimer's, my dad had surgery. My husband has come down to this teeny little house. In my teeny little house, it is a 1.5 bedroom house. He's come down here with me both weeks to help me care for my parents. He has not complained one time. He has been so incredibly helpful. This guy has stepped up in a way I never would have expected. But this is the relationship we have built together. We do these things for each other. We didn't have this before the affair. Because of the affair, we have this in many ways. Because of the work we did, we have this. That does not mean that I'm glad he had an affair. No. If I could have picked any other way in the world to get to this point, I would pick it. But this is my story. This is where I ended up. So yeah, you can have a great marriage on the other side of this. But oh my goodness, it takes work. Okay? Boundaries, communication, transparency, open, honest, talking about things, being real with each other, giving each other grace and forgiveness. Oh, I didn't mention forgiveness. That's a big deal too. Let me add that as a tack on. Forgiveness is big too, but you guys are a team, okay? You got to have both feet in the relationship. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to commit to doing the work. You're a team. It can happen. It can happen, okay? There is so much hope out there. Now, if you're listening to this and you have none of those things and you've been working for years, I get it. Unfortunately, not every marriage ends up in the place that my husband and I are at right now. It makes me very, very sad. But that's the real part of this. Not every marriage survives. But if that's you and you're listening to this, you can go on and have a healthy marriage with somebody else because the tools you have learned, the things you've learned about yourself along the way, you treasure that, okay? That goes a long way. All right, so yes, you can have a healthy marriage on the other side of this. This is what I help my clients do. My clients are women who've been betrayed. They're choosing to stay in their marriage and they're trying to make it work, okay? Of my clientele, one is heading toward divorce, okay? So I hope I've been a help. Of course, I'm only working with the wife. Again, it takes two people, so I do what I can on the wife's side of things. But hey, listen, if you're looking for someone to walk this journey with you, I would love a chance to talk to you. I have a link below. Schedule a free consultation with me. No obligation whatsoever. I provide some free coaching on the call. You can see if coaching is a good fit. We'll talk about that on the call. And I've got freebies listed below. Make sure you grab them. And please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other videos that come out, okay? And if you are looking for a great support community, I have a great Facebook group, and that link's below as well. I hope you join us. Okay, so there's hope. Hang in there, okay? Please. The work is worth it. I promise.